Welcome back to Movies TV Mad. This is the Movies TV Mad Daily, and we're live. Welcome today. There's only one article to read about the Suicide Squad, and we'll be reading that very shortly. And it's about the removal of a certain tattoo from Harley Quinn, which I found kind of triggering. So we're going to read that and then discuss it. And it looks like James Gunn is enjoying winding people up about Superman getting shot by Bloodsport. As you can see here, he posted this: Bloodsport standing over Henry Cavill's Superman's shot body. It's interesting because that is Henry Cavill, despite James Gunn lying, telling little fibs that he didn't know which Superman this was. I told you he's on a wind-up. He's enjoying winding up the entire internet, and quite right too. So this is really, really awesome. It's a great picture. I don't know who did this picture. I don't know who to give credit to, but it is awesome. So remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad and Instagram and TikTok at Movies TV Mad 555. So welcome to the show. So let's get to this article. Hang on a minute. It's here. Let's do this. Why Suicide Squad 2 removes Harley Quinn's rotten tattoo. The Suicide Squad director James Gunn explains why Harley Quinn's rotten face tattoo is gone in the upcoming soft reboot of the franchise. They've just called it Suicide Squad 2, then called it a soft reboot. This fucking publication can't help themselves. By Alex Darras. The Suicide Squad director James Gunn has explained why Harley Quinn is without her rotten face tattoo in the upcoming soft reboot. The supervillain formerly known as Dr. Harleen Quinzel was first created in 1992 for Batman the Animated Series. Margot Robbie embodied the character for the first time on the big screen in 2016's Suicide Squad. While David Ayer's film received mixed reviews from critics, Robbie's charming rendition of the character was a hit. She went on to reprise the character in 2020's Birds of Prey and the fantabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn, which showed Harley emancipate herself from her relationship with the Joker, but remain as chaotic as ever. Anyway, Gunn's take on the Suicide Squad story is a far cry from its 2016 counterpart. It is. Ronnie Dodge. Morning, mate. Good morning, Ronnie Dodge. So where are we? Yeah, Robbie's Harley Quinn is one of the only returning characters from the Ayer film, and no doubt due to her status as fan favourite. She's joined by newcomers including John Cena's Peacemaker and Idris Elba's Bloodsport, and Robbie will no doubt pick up the character where she left off in Birds of Prey, except with a few minor cosmetic changes. Gunn already said Harley's new black on red leather suit is directly inspired by a DC video game franchise. A recent Instagram story Q&A, Gunn revealed why Harley Quinn also lost one of her most recognisable tattoos in both 2016 Suicide Squad and Birds of Prey. Harley had the word rotten tattooed on her jawline. She's noticeably without the face tattoo in the trailers for the Suicide Squad. A fan asked Gunn what led to the decision to removing the tattoo and if it will be addressed. Margot didn't like it, and I found out I also didn't like it, so we just decided to remove it. Gunn responded to it, and it's not addressed. Check out a screenshot of his reply below. What led to the decision of removing the rotten tattoo on Harl's, and will it be addressed? Margot didn't like it and found out I also didn't like it, so we decided just to remove it. No, it's not addressed. Of course it's not addressed. Gunn's take on the film will show Robbie and Task Force X embark on a government mission that leads to a head-to-head battle with the massive psychic starfish villain Starro. Gunn has already said that many of the characters won't make it out of the film alive, but it's like Harley will be safe. Gunn has already expressed some interest in doing a solo film about Harley Quinn, similarly to Cena's Peacemaker series, and despite having 3 films under her belt, it feels like Robbie's Harley is still just getting started. Harley went through a total transformation in Birds of Prey to distance her character from her ex, the Joker, and become more independent, so the tattoo removal appears to be a continuation of that. It's already been revealed that a tattoo on her back that identifies the character as property of Joker has been altered to read property of no one. So it's clear while Robbie's beloved character is making a comeback, she's a changed woman who is capable of standing on her own in the Suicide Squad. Right, let me give you my take on this. Right, Harley Quinn is a psychopath. She's killed people. She's broken the law. So is she not rotten? So Miss Robbie doesn't like this tattoo, so she's had it removed. It's obviously down to her property of no one on her back. Boring, boring, boring. Honestly, I don't care, but it's the way these people's minds work that really annoys me. She's a woman standing on her own 2 feet, like she's an ordinary woman who's got a job. She's wearing a suit. She's independent. No, she's a murderess. She's a psychopath, right? Simple as that. She is rotten. She is rotten, right? But Margot Robbie doesn't think that women should be rotten, even women who kill. So that's really triggered her. Now, I didn't know that tattoo was on her face in Birds of Prey. Look, I know a lot of people were triggered by the damaged tattoo on the Joker's forehead. I don't really care about tattoos. I don't think it's very important. These things bore me, but it just goes to show the levels that these people will go to. So everything's about making a point. Wouldn't surprise me if that person asking the question on the Instagram Q&A was set up by Gunn to make the point that, Harley is not rotten and she's a property of no one. By the way, no one's the property of no one, right? So Miss Robbie going all SJW, alt left again. Don't care, pointless, don't give a shit. I do like her as Harley. Of course I do. Everyone does. But she is a feminist. She is problematic. Her Birds of Prey movie was an absolute disaster. And, you are rotten. Your character is rotten. Your character is a killer. Let's not pretend that Harley is this ordinary nice person you would feel comfortable about. She's a fucking criminal, right? She took a knife to Batman underwater in the Suicide Squad movie. She would have killed him if she had the opportunity. She's a killer. She is dangerous. So she is rotten, right? I love the character. She's intriguing. I've always loved the character. But let's not pretend this is fucking some innocent. This is not Lois Lane. This is a rotten to the core human being. So she's got a cutesy voice and all of that. And that's great. I'm so glad, Margot, that your character's standing up for herself. A murderess, a killer, a psychopath. The very woman who broke out a psychopath, the Joker, out of Arkham Asylum. So, it's just, these people just can't help themselves. As I've said, I've seen a test screening for the Suicide Squad for around 90 minutes. I enjoyed what I saw. I'm not going to tell you what I totally think of the movie until it comes out, because that might not even be the fucking version we get. It could be so changed, right? I don't know. You have to talk to the actors about the film that they've seen, which is the finished version. So there's no point me going on about what I saw, because it could be so dramatically changed. But yes, this kind of thing does trigger me, and it's the kind of world we live in now, everyone. And it's ridiculous. Ronnie Dodge, there's an 8-disc Zack Snyder trilogy coming out. MOS, BVS, Zack Snyder's Justice League. If that does say Zack is done at WB, I don't know what is. It's interesting. I mean, as I said to someone, I'm not going to buy it, because I've got the films. I've got them on 4K. There's no need for me to buy these movies. So it's a collector's edition, and it's great. I mean, it's funny how WB are trying to suck this thing dry. It's hilarious, really. But, that incident that happened with Snyder's picture of Batman eating out Harley being copy struck and taken off. I reckon it's no coincidence that yesterday they announced that Zack Snyder's Justice League was coming out on DVD and Blu-ray in America. I reckon Warner Brothers and Snyder were behind what happened yesterday. They're in cahoots to make as much money out of this film as possible. Don't believe everything you read. You are all being fucking manipulated. Zack hates WB. He was wrongly treated. WB hates Zack. They're all in it fucking together. They're trying to make as much money as they possibly can. Why did WB take so long to remove that picture? He did it over a fucking week ago, right? Think about it. So, yeah, I won't be buying that, because I've already got all the movies. I'm happy with the movies. I love the movies, but I won't be buying more. And the next thing I'm going to buy from DC, apart from the animation, is, of course, James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, the Batman, all these films coming out. They're my DC live action. Obviously, Superman and Lois is going great guns. I spoke to Eric Valdez, who's in the show, on Twitter yesterday. What a gentleman. Ronnie Dodge doesn't mean he's coming back, though. No. It's just a Blu-ray, mate. It's just something to make money out of. But he could come back. He might not come back. Who knows? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what's going on there, right? If they look, they will do anything that makes them money. If they sit down and think, do you know what? Let him fucking do what he wants in a corner. We'll get him to sign a contract where he can't use this, that, or the other character, but he can do what he wants, right? And we won't interfere with him. Then that's fine by me. But we don't know what's going to happen in the future, and we'll have to wait and see. But it wouldn't surprise me if yesterday's kind of removal of that picture was a staged event from both studio and director being involved with that. They will do anything to create hype. It's no coincidence that they announced that the Snyder Cut is being released on DVD, Blu-ray, 4K, hard copy, and they wanted to make a song and dance, and of course, everything trending. So that's that. So that's my opinion on that. Ronnie Dodge, let him on HBO Max and don't let him anywhere near the cinematic multiverse. Well, he will never get near the cinematic multiverse anyway. Not even Zaslav would let him near that. You know, this is, as I said before, the multiverse strategy is the best way to make money. You're bringing back people like Keaton, Brandon Routh, Nicolas Cage, who's never worn the cape before but could wear the cape, Tyler Hoechlin, Grant Gustin, maybe even Stephen Amell. You know, this is exciting, and there's so much financial potential, more financial potential than what Snyder was doing. This is the way to go. But as I said before, it's all about the execution. Let's see how they do it. Let's not be blind here, right? I'm going to go and get a couple of films. I'll be right back. Thank you for your patience and due diligence. Here's a rotten apple, and here's the golden apple. These are two films. This is very interesting to me. I've spoken about this before. There's not much news, so we might as well do this, right? So here's Wonder Woman 2017, one of the best comic book movies of all time. Here's Wonder Woman 84, which pretty much does nothing for me, apart from the third act, which I think is beautiful and emotional, and it's great. Apart from that, the film does nothing to me. It does nothing to expand the DC Extended Universe, right? Ronnie George, I think Tyler Hoechlin being the main Superman in DCU would be good. Well, I'll interrupt my conversation here. Ronnie Dodge, sorry, Abraham Herrera just made me laugh. Abraham Herrera, you could use a light behind your computer, Mick. Yeah, I'll get right on that. Yeah, I'm afraid this is, it's not the greatest of, you know what? It's all right. It's all right. You can see me, can't you? You can see what's behind me. We got bright sunlight. Come on. This is not an elite YouTuber. This is me, isn't it? This is what it's all about. This is how YouTubers used to do stuff. They just used to use their built-in camera and built-in mic and do videos, right? It's only now that people have become spoiled, that they have HD cameras and the best mics. I am not, listen, I want to get that stuff. I want to have a perfect picture and a perfect sound, but I ain't doing anything until I get over 1,000 subscribers and people actually like my stuff in the hundreds. And until that happens, if that never happens, this is how we're staying. Because at the end of the day, Abraham Herrera, no disrespect, Mick, I just couldn't make out the two movies you showed. So, as I say, it's not worth my while investing in the best cameras and all of that if I'm not going to get 1,000 or over 1,000 subscribers. When people show they're willing to support me and at least help me get to just over 1,000 subscribers, then we can invest in some stuff. We can be more professional. It's not financially, it's not worth my while. So Abraham Herrera. Oh, right. Yeah, one of those is shit, lol. Yeah, one's a rotten apple and one's the golden apple. And of course, Abraham, no disrespect. I'm just explaining to you why it's not worth my while investing until people. I believe I have confidence, personality. I'm an interesting person to watch. So at the end of the day, I think people should reward that by coming in and subscribing. And if we get to over 1,000 subscribers and we create a great community here, not that it's not a great community already, then we can invest in the equipment for sure. But, you know, money's tight. And at the end of the day, I do want to make money from this. But right now, I'm just happy, communing with 5 or 6 people. That's fine. And once people decide I'm relevant and elite and they come in, that'd be great. John, they could use Brandon Routh Superman as the main DCEU Superman. Ronnie Dodge, I do think Tyler is one of the best Superman man at the moment. The clips I saw from episode 11 made me cry. Homage to the comics and a love letter. I've heard a lot about that episode, Ronnie, and I can't wait to see it. Actually, I saw a clip of him flying and laughing and smiling like Henry does in Man of Steel. It's interesting how they're embracing a lot of the Snyderverse, and that's visually anyway. That tells you something. That gives me a clue that maybe they're trying to make Tyler the central Superman, and that's why Todd was brought in, one of the best showrunners in the world right now. So I think maybe, I don't know what's going on with Henry. So if Henry's not coming back, Tyler could be the main Superman. Now, Brandon Routh would also be a great Superman. You don't really need, obviously we're talking who would be best suited to be the Earth 1 Superman. Well, obviously right now we have got a multiverse strategy coming, but for right now, these two Supermen are from different Earths. Now, I suppose Brandon's Superman hasn't really got much going on his Earth, the Christopher Reeve Earth, by the way. And Brandon is the Christopher Reeve Superman. So that would be kind of special if he was the central Superman. I still feel that Henry's our Superman, and we'll see how that develops. Abraham Herrera, you are totally right, man. That's why I keep coming back. Thank you very much, Abraham. Thank you, everyone, for your support. Abraham Herrera, Superman and Lois has a place in the world. It's a good show for sure. I just don't think we should be calling this man the best Superman. Wait a minute. I think if someone thinks he's the best Superman, that's fine. If you don't think he's the best Superman, that's fine as well. I don't know who the best Superman is. I'll be honest with you. My first Superman was as a 10-year-old boy. It was Christopher Reeve. And if it wasn't for Christopher Reeve, I would never have fallen in love with Superman. For some people, they wouldn't have loved Superman if it wasn't for Henry Cavill. For some people, they wouldn't have fell in love with Superman if it wasn't for Tom Welling in Smallville. In fact, Smallville made so many young people Superman fans back in 2001. Don't forget, I'm reviewing each episode of Smallville every single day. And today I'll be reviewing episode 2 of season 1. I look forward to recording that one for you a little bit later on. But yeah, if you want to say someone's the best Superman, that's fine. As long as you're not saying it universally. It's not as a fact. It's your fact. It's your truth. And that's absolutely fantastic. But I don't think we've had a bad Superman. Ever. By the way, I think George Reeves was fantastic for his time. Christopher Reeve, the Superboys we had 2 actors as Superboy. I thought they were great. Dean Cain isn't my cup of tea, but a lot of people love him. Tom Welling was awesome. Brandon Routh was awesome, even though the film isn't really beloved. He was in, but people love Brandon, and that's great. There was even a petition for Brandon to be cast in Man of Steel, which was awesome. Ronnie Dodge, maybe the Flash will bring Tyler Superman into the DCEU, but he's not the best Superman, but he's the most Superman we have seen of the character at the moment. Well, I would probably say that Christopher Reeve is the most Superman, but if you're talking about the modern era, you're probably right. Abraham Herrera, no, I just think we have 2 Supermen and a Superwoman coming, and calling one of those the best is a mistake as a DC fan. You said it, Mick. We should embrace everything as DC fans. Well, what I say is, I don't tell people what to do. I just give my opinion and my truth. Now, if you believe someone's the best thing ever, that's totally fine, as long as you don't tear down what other people love. So I don't like the whole of the Arrowverse, but I love the inception of the franchise. I love seasons 1 and 2 of Arrow and years 1 and 2 of The Flash. Todd Helbing, did the Flash in the early days, and now he's on Superman and Lois. There's no surprise, but both those shows were great at the beginning. Now, I said to Eric Valdez, I said yesterday, who plays, he plays Lana Lang's husband in Superman and Lois, I said to him, one thing you need to keep the quality of this show up is to keep Todd there. And if he says he's leaving, tie him up. And he laughed. He said, don't worry, we're not going to let Todd go anywhere. So we had a bit of a laugh and a joke about it. So, but yeah, I think, you know, we got loads of Supermen at the moment. We've already seen Brandon come back in Crisis. Crisis is the origin story of this multiverse strategy, which is so exciting. So basically, when we do this reboot, it won't be Man of Steel that will be the first movie. It will be Crisis for this next chapter. Man of Steel is basically the first chapter of phase 1. The multiverse strategy is phase 2. John, is Michael Keaton going to be the main DCEU Batman? I don't think so. I think he'll be a Batman. I don't think he'll be the main DCEU Batman. Ben Affleck is the DCEU's Batman. I can't see that changing. They may do something with Batgirl to be the younger one. I don't know. But what you guys have got to understand about a multiverse means no one's the main one. A multiverse Justice League means there is no main one. There's these versions of these characters. One moment they'll focus on one, then they'll focus on the other. That's the kind of new normal we're going to have to get used to. Ronnie Dodge, I'm excited for Supergirl joining the DCEU, but I'm embracing the multiverse. Mick, did you see the original Flash actor defending Ezra? John Wesley Shipp, I didn't. What did he have to say, Ronnie? Ronnie Dodge, if Ben does leave the role in the Flash, Mick, how are you going to feel? Oh, that's a good question. It's interesting, really, for me. When I first heard Ben was cast, Ben was like the poorer brother of Matt Damon. He always was. He wasn't very successful pre his directorial and acting kind of masterclasses. So I was a bit Ben Affleck, and then I thought, wait a minute. If he writes and directs a Batman movie and stars in it, that could be pretty special. Maybe that's why Christopher Nolan brought him on. And so I calmed down a bit. And then when I saw the first trailer, I thought, this guy's going to be fucking awesome. But I never took Ben Affleck as Batman to my heart. So it would be a very, very sad moment because I think he's got a great stature as Batman. He works more in the suit probably for me than Bruce Wayne. But I think he's great. So I think it'll be slightly sad. But I don't necessarily think he is leaving. That's what a multiverse is all about. You don't have to delete anything or anyone, but I think we're in an either-or culture right now where everyone has to say this is the best and this is the worst. That's not what it's about for me. A multiverse means Ben Affleck can come in and out whenever he wants when he's not busy. And that's what I think they're going to do. But we'll have to wait and see. So, Wonder Woman 84 and Wonder Woman 2017. Why are they so different? Now, in a lot of ways, you would say, well, this is good, isn't it, mate, that they're both so different, right? Neither of these films have much interconnectivity, apart from the fact that Wonder Woman was introduced in BVS. But there's obviously, this film was in a very uncomfortable position of coming after BVS. And they were trying to creep away from BVS. We didn't even see Bruce Wayne, even though she was emailing him in the film. But the difference is, even though this hasn't got much interconnectivity with the rest of the universe, she is talking to Ben Affleck, so that is a connection. But this is probably one of the best comic book movies ever made. Ronnie Dodge, I like his Batman, but if he does go, it's not the end of the world. That's my opinion. Well, nothing's the end of the world, of course. Obviously, a lot of people will be upset, but I personally think he's not going to go because it's a multiverse. There's no need for him to go. He can just come in and out when he wants, especially if there's other versions of Batman. Ronnie Dodge, but I would be sad. Yeah, I would be sad, but I wouldn't be sad yet because at the end of the day, I think a multiverse means we can have a bit of everything. That's the beauty of the multiverse, my friends. You don't have to lose anything. You don't have to be an either-or. I know we live in a generation, an either-or, what's the best, what's the worst, as I've already said. But I believe, personally, that we can have it all. We can have it all. And if Zack behaved himself, we could have had the restoration of the Snyderverse. That was the plan by WB, and he fucked it up. He fucked it up, no one else, because he was after a little bit of revenge, and he also used Ray Fisher to get a little bit of revenge as well. They're the facts, my friends. The reason the Snyderverse hasn't been restored is because of Zack Snyder. Zack Snyder wanted revenge. I don't blame him, but at the end of the day, look what he's cost him. Look what it's cost the fans that love him and follow him, right? We could have had it all, Zack. Do you feel better because you're getting revenge? Do you feel better? Is it good? You say you want to restore the Snyderverse, that you've got a plan. So why don't you just, I'm going to say this politely, why don't you just shut the fuck up, right? And talk to people about your plans. Stop going on about the studio. They own the IP. There's nothing you can do about that, right? And if you kept your mouth shut and you had a good lead, you pulled the lead back, you put the lead on Ray Fisher, you would have had your universe restored, and a lot of fans would have been excited. You did this, Zack. Abraham Herrera, Wonder Woman 2017 is probably the only female solo superhero film that is up there with the best of the best. Well, yeah, to be fair, there's not many female superhero movies. I mean, my personal favourite, and nobody likes this film, is Supergirl 1984. I think that's a wonderful film, and I'm very sad that it didn't work out for Helen. Directed by a wonderful director called Je ne sais. He did a very good job with the movie back then. It was a shame that Christopher Reeve refused to be in the movie, because they did want him to be in the movie, but he thought it was wrong. There were reasons for that. He didn't want to start falling in love and having sex with his cousin. But yeah. Abraham Herrera, Mick, aren't you exaggerating with the Zack thing? I don't think I am. I'm being true. I think the diehard fans are blinded by fandom. I'm not blinded by fandom. I love the guy's movie. He fucked this up, Abraham. He fucked this up. He wanted revenge. He wanted revenge. And now the Snyder Cut was in episodes. They wanted to do Justice League Series 2, Justice League Series 3. They wanted to do it all over on HBO Max. He fucked it up because he was after a bit of revenge. And this is why it's gone wrong. I talk to people, Abraham, all the time. And people tell me a lot of things. I've told you a lot before. Before The Flash is released, Warner Brothers are going to come out with their side of the story. And you're not going to like what you hear, but you're going to believe what you hear. Ronnie Dodge, Zack should just be quiet. He didn't create DC Comics. They was made in the 40s. He might love the characters, but he don't own them. That's true. When you say he fucked this up, you mean the Batwoman picture. I'm not talking about the Batwoman picture is irrelevant. He's done other things. They told him not to shoot stuff. He went and shot stuff. He doesn't listen. You can't, everyone has a boss, right? You know, someone who owns a business, his boss is the tax man, right? Or the tax woman, or however they identify. When I used to work at a supermarket, I had a manager. I had to do as I was told. I had to cut the meat a certain way or I'd lose my job. When I was working at a pocket phone shop, I was the top seller. But I still had to listen to my boss. And if I didn't listen to my boss, the person who paid my wages, I would be in trouble. No one, not even Martin Scorsese, gets to do whatever the fuck they want. But Zack Snyder is not interested in the inner workings of the studio system. He believes he should be able to do exactly what he wants. But sorry, this is DC, right? There's so much financial potential here. They're a business. Ronnie George, I think they was going to do episodes, and then Ray Fisher and Zack started to attack the studio, and Walter Hamada and WB was like, just get the thing out. Yeah, that's it. They wanted to get rid of him, because at the end of the day, you know, that he was going to get what he wanted. Now, maybe he didn't want a series 2 and a series 3. Maybe he wanted to do something different. I don't know. But the studio were willing to come to the table. AT&T were willing to come to the table. But they, you know, Zack and Ray were exposing private matters. That's not how things work in this industry. Abraham Herrera, man, I just hope it's all lies, Mick. I don't want to lose my faith in restoring the Snyderverse. Yeah, he's been aggressive with the post sometimes, but I will believe it when the WB statement is released. As I say, they're going to wait. They're biding their time. That's why they're keeping quiet. It's the best time to give their side of the story before Flashpoint, because that's when they're resetting the universe and they're going to explain themselves. This is a big company and they're just biding their time. But at the end of the day, I know Zack was treated badly. I get it. He wanted to give them the taste of their own medicine. But if he just held firm, he would have got everything. He would have been restored if he just behaved himself. But he didn't want to do that. So I hope he's happy. I hope he's happy. Because he tells the fans that he wants to restore the Snyderverse. But how can you can't restore it, Zack, on your own terms? They own it. They own it. Even Al Miles, right? Miles, who was it? Alfred Gough and Miles Miller, who created Smallville, when they left after season 7, took WB to court, right? Because they have rights over Smallville as well, right? And that happened quietly. And they won that legal battle. And we haven't heard anything from them about it on Twitter or any of the other socials. That's the way you conduct yourself in this business. But doing what he does, it's not going to win him any fans at any studio, let alone WB, any studio. Ronnie Dodger, I think Ray and Zack should be careful what they say now, as David Zaslav will be watching. Well, they don't care about behaving. They think the rules of the industry don't apply to them. So they think they can do whatever they want and win, and that's up to them. But they're seeing what's happened. It's very sad, and I feel sorry for the innocent fans who just want the Snyderverse restored. And unbeknown to them, it was going to be restored. That's why it was in episodes in the beginning, the Snyder Cut. And then it's pretty obvious it wasn't in episodes anymore. Why isn't it in episodes anymore, Zack? Oh, because of contracts. Bullshit. If contracts had anything to do with it, it wouldn't have been a series in the fucking first place, right? This is a professional studio. You all know your places. You all know the rules, right? So don't give me that shit. It went from episodes to a movie for a reason. For a reason. I'm smart. I'm smart. My eyes are open. My eyes aren't closed. I know exactly what's going on. Abraham Herrera, I guess what he did is unprecedented, so there's no example to know what will happen. No, there's no example. Zack Snyder achieved something nobody else has. He held a studio accountable and literally blackmailed them into releasing a cut of his movie. He obviously knows where the bodies are buried. There's clearly information that he knows, and I applaud him. At the end of the day, the industry has been treating creatives and actors and everyone who works for them like shit for like the past 100 years. I don't feel sorry for them, but I care about my franchise and my DC characters. I'm not here to talk about accountability over entertainment. If I'm honest, I don't really care about accountability over entertainment. Just like I was treated like shit when I was working at the Co-op or the other shops. No one gave a shit about me. Your bosses are always going to win. People who own you are always going to win. You can rebel, you can fight, and that's respectable and that's fine. But at the end of the day, the industry will always be the industry. And at the end of the day, he could have chosen to go along with it and get his cut restored. He wants to expose them and get his cut restored. Ronnie George, yeah, I like Snyder's movie, but at the end of the day, I'm excited the way DC films are going. DC heroes being actual heroes, saving people. Abraham Herrera, if it all goes to shit, at least we got a couple victories. We went down swinging. Yeah, obviously the trilogy is great, and it will always be remembered. And I think more and more people will fall in love with his works at DC as the time progresses. Sam Dejan reviews, if David Zaslav wants to restore the Snyderverse, he will. Yes, if he wants to. But he's not going to restore the Snyderverse instead of the multiverse strategy. And if that's the little fantasy you're having in your dreams, Sam, it is a fantasy. Ronnie Dodge, I put it capitals as it's me shouting low. Yep. We're all shouting. We all want to be heard, Ronnie, don't we? We all want our point to get across. That's what a reactive platform is all about, of course. But in fact, these two movies prove that Zack Snyder and Patty Jenkins were not friends, that they did not get along, even when she was supposed to be directing The Superior Golden Egg. That's my point. This woman wanted to get as far away from this movie as possible. Why? That's the question you've got to ask yourselves. Why? because she doesn't respect Zack's vision, right? She was being all supportive during the Snyder Cut and all of that. Of course she was, because the studio wanted her to. And he was saying Wonder Woman 84 is a great movie. Well, Zack, we both know that's not fucking true. So why were you saying that? You were lying to the fans, Zack, that Wonder Woman 84 is a great movie. Why? Abraham Herrera, rewatchability is the key, me. Let's see how many of the upcoming movies have it. Yes, that's one thing modern movies don't really have a lot of, Abraham, rewatchability, and even TV shows. Ronnie George, he won't restore the Snyderverse if Ray and Zack carry on being a bunch of divas. Sanders and Reviews, I don't care about the multiverse. They're just doing it to cover the mistakes they made, but it won't work. Well, Sam, it's simple as that. It's not about covering mistakes. It's about creating a franchise that works for the broader audience. This is a business agenda. This is a business strategy. It's not about covering anything up. There's nothing to cover up. It's all there for everybody to see. They know that the current franchise is not working enough. They want to make the capacity of their financial output. They want to make as much money. And a multiverse strategy that attracts a broader audience is the best way of doing that. You can say it's not going to work in your opinion, but you don't know that. The truth is, Sam, you say you don't care about the multiverse. Well, it's not just about you, is it? It's about hundreds of millions of people going to movie theaters and watching these movies. It's about the studio making as much money as possible. And just because you don't want it to be successful, it doesn't mean it won't. But I respect your opinion. Abraham Herrera, because he didn't want to embarrass Patty. I know, but he told us it's a great movie. Now, the truth is, these two people don't like each other. That's what I believe. This is why she wanted to get away from this, because this is not her movie. This movie has very little to do with Patty Jenkins, but she's quite happy gaining the adulation what it brought. A bit like Inspector Gadget, when his niece used to solve the crimes and save the day, and he used to take credit. That's what Patty Jenkins is, Inspector Gadget. Zack Snyder is Inspector Gadget's niece. Ronnie Dodge, well, after The Flash, DC Comics, they're walking away from the Snyderverse tone because they want the general audience interested, which the Snyderverse clearly didn't do that. It didn't do that. No. It didn't do that enough, and it caused division, didn't it? Sam Reviews, most of the DC fans don't care about the multiverse. We just want good DC movies. What DC fans are you talking about? Are you talking about the Snyder DC fans, Sam? Because I speak to many, many fans who are very excited about the multiverse. It's easy to say that, isn't it? DC fans don't care. Why was there so many people standing on the Flash set? If so many people don't care, why are so many people going up to Ezra Miller and talking to him, right? And meeting and, getting pictures with Barbara and Andy, and thousands of people following Andy and Barbara on Instagram. If people don't care, Sam, can you explain that? Abraham Herrera, lol, what an analogy. Go, Gadget. I thought it's a great analogy. It's true, though, right? Patty Jenkins took credit, but because she's a snake in the grass, she started saying, the third act was nothing to do with me. I didn't want them to do it like that. Yeah, Zack wanted to do it like that. And the third act is fucking brilliant because she chooses love over hate. Now, maybe you put that in, Patty. Maybe you did. I don't care. But that third act is brilliant and it works for me. And there's nothing wrong with a CG battle at the end of the movie. And you snobs will never understand that. Ronnie Dodge. Well, Sam, I care about the multiverse, as do I. I'm very excited. It's probably just Snyder fans. Yeah. I like it when they say other DC fans. I find that kind of funny. Again, I respect Sam and his opinions. I want to be clear about that. I don't want to be an asshole about it, but Abraham Herrera, yo, I don't like when you blame everything on Snyder fans. I'm a Snyder fan. Do you see me being toxic? Guess who else is a Snyder fan? A fan of his 3 DC films? Me. So if what you're saying is true, that I'm talking about Snyder fans, I'll be talking about myself as well. So, yes, I forget and I say some Snyder fans. Yeah, but at the end of the day, what I see on Twitter all day is not good. So, but I'm a Snyder fan. I'm a Snyder DC fan. I don't really care about his other movies. But at the end of the day, I'm also talking about myself then, aren't I? Ronnie, which I've also always said to you, Abraham, this is a kind of a repeating of a conversation. Ronnie Dodge, the Flash movie has had so many follows on their socials. Yeah, DC fans don't care about the multiverse, clearly. Yeah, exactly. Everyone is excited because I tell you who some Snyder fans don't care about: the hardcore DC community fandom, the ones who read the comics and buy the comics and have been following this lore and who know more about DC lore than anyone. Abraham Herrera, and by the way, how's the haircut campaign going? Don't you know? It's going about the same as usual, I think. I don't know anything more than you do about it, to be honest. Obviously, there's no haircut, and Sarnoff said there's no intention of releasing it in her variety hit piece, so it's as you were. Ronnie Dodge, I'm a Snyder fan, but I don't worship him thinking he's a god. He's made 3 decent movies, that's true. And also, don't forget, one of the people who worked on Suicide Squad said that Jared Leto's scenes are not even viewable. They can't. That's why they didn't put them in the film. That says something. Now, the release the haircut people are not addressing that situation. So that's very interesting to me. But I mean, we could talk about this all day. But at the end of the day, we are where we are. They are going to do the multiverse. And we'll see what happens. I think potentially it could be fantastic. But again, I'm only talking about potential because I don't have a globe. I don't have a crystal ball. I can't tell you if people are going to even like the Suicide Squad. So, Jesus is a goat. Man, I was watching a podcast yesterday and the so-called DC fan said, and I quote, "I'm not excited for Matt Reeves' Batman, nor will I be supporting the Suicide Squad crap." You know what you were watching? You were watching Snyderverse fans do a podcast. They're the only people not excited for this and trying to create an agenda and disguise themselves as DC purists, which they're not. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, if that's true about Jared, then yeah, let's skip the haircut. Well, the studio are skipping the haircut. I would like to see it, but I'm not desperate to see it. Abraham Herrera, I heard a podcast today where Snyder mentioned his unreleased Sucker Punch again, and he talked about him being controversial. His unreleased Sucker Punch again. Yeah, well, he's trying to push for his original cut of that film to come out. Not many people are interested. Abraham, I've never seen Sucker Punch, and I'm not interested in seeing Sucker Punch. I'm a DC fan. I'm not interested in his other movies. He's always up to something. He's always trying to create a storm somewhere. As I say, as much as I like his DC films, I'm beginning to get bored of the man's ramblings. I really am. And I think I'm not alone. Ronnie Dodge Sucker Punch was crap anyway. Never seen it, and I'm not interested in seeing it. The only interest I have in Zack Snyder is his 3 DC movies. That's it. I don't have a picture of him dressed as Jesus on my wall. I don't kiss it before I go to bed. I don't. The only God in my world is me. Bobcat. Hey, Mickey. Hey, Bobcat. How are you doing on this Friday? I nearly forgot the day. Abraham Herrera, I get it, Mickey. He even said Debbie tries to talk him out of most of these controversial things. Well, Debbie's an intelligent woman. That's why. Maybe she should divorce him and marry me. We'd make a much better couple. Come on, Deb. You know it makes sense. I'm in Cyprus. Get a private jet. Forget Zach. Abraham Herrera, he's self-aware, Mick, and I will always respect him. I respect him as the director who made 3 movies for DC, and I love those movies. They're a great inclusion in the history of DC live-action movies, and I love them. But he's not my... Abraham Herrera, you kind of hate him. No. That's a very immature thing to say, Abraham, just because I'm having a balanced discussion. I am saying, listen to me move my lips. I love his 3 DC movies. I think they're as an exemplary look at an indie type of superhero, unique take at the superhero. I don't hate him. I don't like the mouthing off, all the stuff. It's boring to me. I do not hate him. You don't understand what hate is. But I don't have a Jesus picture of him, and I'm not going to kiss it. Bobcat, how are you guys? Hey, Ronnie Dodge. We're doing fine here, Bobcat, just trying to educate people. Sam DeJan Reviews, they need to get the writer's room, the animated movies, and do it in live action. They will be blowing Marvel out the water. Ronnie Dodge, I like Zach, but his ways of doing things are just wrong. Yeah, the tactics after the green lighting of the Snyder Cut were, and the what Fisher said about Walter Hamada is just outrageous. It's pretty much bullying. Bobcat, per usual, lol. Bobcat, just kidding, guys. Happy to see you all. Well, Bobcat, we're honoured by your presence, and we wouldn't want to bore you. Sam Dejan reviews. David Zaslav can restore the Snyderverse because it makes money. Yes, but it won't replace the central multiverse strategy. That's what I'm saying to you. Ronnie Dodge, all good. Got theory test today at 2 p.m. UK time. Good luck, Ronnie. Hope it goes well. I failed 3 tests. I don't drive. And I will never drive. Why have a dog and bark yourself, right? I can get people to drive me around. It's better. Or I can walk. I can be healthy. I once walked, I think, from Beckenham to Croydon. Bobcat, good luck, Ronnie Dodge. Ronnie Dodge makes money, but does a 4-hour movie make it rewatchable? That's an interesting one. Now, I was arguing against the episodes, but I think I was wrong. I think it was better off staying as episodes, even though it would have been a shame not to see it as a movie. I think the episodic form was a better idea, and that's when they wanted to restore the Snyderverse. They saw the potential. Jesus is a go. Now that Bobcat is here, I have to take off my slippers. We are now on holy ground. Bobcat, you did miss me talking about the rotten tattoo being removed from Harley Quinn in the Suicide Squad. I read an article, so you missed me having a go at Margot Robbie. We could have had a good little argument. Bobcat, I wasn't talking about being bored. You said we were educating people. Oh, right, I see. Abraham Herrera, well, it keeps selling Blu-rays. Yeah, it's selling Blu-rays. It's doing well. That's right. Restore the Snyderverse. Can he be trusted? Can he be trusted to behave himself? Bobcat, Abraham Herrera won't buy it. You won't buy it. I know you won't buy it. I think what Abraham is saying is doing well. It is doing well. It's viable. His universe is viable. But how do you do it? When you've got the same actors in the central universe, how does it work? Bob, I don't mind the rotten being gone. I didn't even know it was there, Bobcat. It's just the principle of Margot Robbie that winds me up in her feminism. Sanders reviews, they should restore the Snyderverse, but without Zack Snyder. That's not possible, Sam. It's not the Snyderverse then. You might as well just stick with the central universe then if you're not going to have Zack there. Ronnie Dodge, I plan to rewatch all the new movies. Remember, everyone, Crisis on Infinite Earths is the first one you need to... no, the last one you need to watch before Flash. It's all connected. Bobcat, yeah, but most superhero movies sell well. To a point, some sell better than others, of course, yeah. Abraham Herrera, I will watch the upcoming movies too. I can't wait. I can't wait for the Suicide Squad. Jesus is a go. Harley had laser surgery. Exactly. It's so pathetic. She's had it removed. Right, let me repeat myself. Bobcat agreed, Sam Jan reviews. Let me say this. Harley Quinn is a fucking psychopath, murderer, fucking criminal. There's nothing wrong with her having rotten tattooed. She is fucking rotten. She's a psychopath. She's not a nice person. Now, I love the character, but let's not fucking put an angel thing, right? Margot Robbie is a feminist that doesn't think a woman is rotten no matter what she does. And that thing, property of no one on her back, is another feminist point. Boring. And James Gunn just bent the knee to her. No, it's not a big deal. It's not a deal breaker. But I hate the way these people think. But anyway, it doesn't matter. Zan reviews, you don't need Zack Snyder, just keep the actors. Then it's not the Snyderverse, my friend. It's not the Snyderverse. It's not his vision. Do you understand? It's pointless. Better keep an eye on the time. 10 minutes, I think. We can have another 10 minutes of steamy conversations. Jesus is go. Harley represents most of my ex-girlfriends. Straight rotten. Exactly. She's a murderer. She let the Joker out of Arkham Asylum, right? She's a killer. Abraham Herrick, you'll cast all our most popular heroes. Thank you, Zach. See you later. Ronnie Dodge, Snyderverse is technically going forward because the most of the actors he casted are staying on Ezra, Jason, Gal are going forward in the multiverse, but it's still not his universe because it's not his vision. So, yeah, we'll always remember him. Bobcat, I like Man of Steel, and I admit that I'm not going to say I didn't enjoy it because I did. I just didn't like BVS, and Zack Snyder's Justice League was a one-time watch for me personally. Fair enough. I don't think there's anything wrong with what you've said there. I think most of the broader audience prefer Man of Steel to BVS, and there's a reason for that, because Christopher Nolan and David Goyer did a great job constructing that story, and David did a great job constructing that screenplay. Why did they leave? Why couldn't they? If they continued on, probably the damage wouldn't have been done that was done. That's how I feel. What happened to them? And then you allow Snyder just to have free reign. He doesn't know where the line stops. That's the problem. I like BVS. I genuinely do. But it's not for a broader audience. And that film cost $300 million to make because they thought he was making a film for the broader audience, and that's not what he was doing. They should have known better. They should have looked at his history, you know. That's what you call a balanced conversation. You can like someone's films, but you don't have to be blind to a situation. Bob, I don't mind changes. I actually quite like them, actually, because Harley is a great independent character. Joker was her origin, but Joker doesn't always need to be involved with her. She's a psychopath. She's a psychopath murderer, and the actress doesn't like the word rotten on her. Okay, fair enough. I love the Joker. I would love the Joker to be involved. Him not being involved is a cop-out, and it's just an excuse people use. Ronnie Dodge, I didn't mention Henry before people start throwing daggers at me. We don't know his future as Superman. No, I'm pretty confident about his future. Bobcat, this looks like the best Harley yet, and I'm thrilled. Sam Design Reviews, you don't need Snyder because I don't want the whole Justice League 2 in the nightmare. I want the normal Justice League. Then it's not the Snyderverse, Sam. It's not. It's not the Snyderverse, is it? So you do need Snyder for the Snyderverse. If you want just a normal Justice League, which you're not even going to get in the multiverse strategy because you're going to get a multiverse one, by the way. Bobcat, well, as a Harley fan, I disagree. Harley doesn't need Joker. I prefer Poison Ivy as a Harley fan. Yeah, that's boring to me. I'm not interested in seeing. I love Poison Ivy as a character in her own right, but I'm not interested watching Poison Ivy eating out Harley Quinn. It's boring to me. I like her as an individual character. I loved her in Batman and Robin, by the way. But yeah, no. Yeah, that's your opinion. You're entitled to it. But I love the Joker, and I want to see him. I want to see him front and center. He's great. I'm not a fan of I'm a fan of Harley, but I'm not an obsessed fan of Harley, right? So I want to see it all. And the only reason Joker isn't in James Gunn's The Suicide Squad, unless there's something we don't know, is because the studio are moving away from Jared Leto, and no other reason. Ronnie Dodge, we're getting that, but a multiverse Justice League is being born after The Flash, exactly. More exciting. A Justice League doesn't have 5 or 6 people in it. Sam Zan reviews, will Henry Cavill appear in Aquaman 2? I think there's a good chance, yes. Oh, by the way, I'll show you a picture that James Gunn posted because none of you were here. So let's have a look at this again. Going to my Instagram. Hang on a minute. Abraham Herrera, the present in theirs, but the future for which I really worked for is mine. Nikola Tesla, just think this defines the Snyderverse. Bubka, I think Harley represents something very important, and Harley always going back to Joker defeats that. If that was the case, it tramples on part of what the character means to me. Harley represents a psychopath murderer who let a psychopath murderer out of Arkham Asylum. She's not Lois Lane. She's not a good person. I like her character at the end of the day. And the only reason that rotten tattoo is removed is for SJW feminist reasons. And I love the Joker, and I would have loved to have seen him in this movie. Bobcat, it shows no matter what happens in your past, you can move on and be happy, and it means a lot to me. Yeah, you can murder a bunch of people, let a psychopath Joker out, and you know and then all of a sudden you can be a good person. Yeah, that's what it means. Sanders and Reviews. Did you see Dingus Fingers make a video about being morally wrong to see Aquaman 2? I didn't see the video. I saw the notification and I went like that because at the end of the day, he's talking shit. He's trying to get people to boycott the movie. No one's going to boycott the movie. You don't have enough fucking subscribers, mate. No, not enough people are going to boycott anything. Ronnie Dodge. I think Ratcatcher 2 and King Shark will be the highlights for me. I love Sebastian the Rat. Me too. Bobcat, that's not what she is to me and Harley fans. No, but she is a psychopath murderer. You can't moralize that. You can't get away from that. She's a killer. She's a dangerous person, right? I love a lot of villains, but I'm not going to delete the fact that they're fucking dangerous people, right? Jesus is a go. I had a long search for the long Halloween. It was sold out almost everywhere. I finally found it at Best Buy. I picked up Blade 4K, an exclusive Dread Steelbook. Wow, Jesus is go. You've been busy. Abraham Herrera. Nobody seems to address Harley being toned down for the movies. How strange. Yeah, it's hilarious, isn't it? I think she was at her more loyal to Bruce Timm's vision in David Ayer's movie, by the way. Bobcat, you're missing the point. Have you read any of the Harley comics? She's deeper than the Joker's girlfriend. I didn't say she wasn't. I'm saying there's another side to her. Yeah, there's another side to her, but that still doesn't change the fact that she's a killer. So I agree with you, as long as you admit she's a dangerous psychotic killer. So I'm fine with the other side of her, but it doesn't delete what she actually is. Ronnie Dodge, when it's my time to die, I'm going to come back and haunt them and make them crazy. Ha, 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 evil laugh. Who are you going to haunt? Not me. Right, Barbara Machete has posted on her story. Oh, my God. Barbara Machete's posted this. Barbara Machete's posted this. Oh, my God. Barbara, I'm going to screenshot you. It's not like you're naked or anything. Oh, my God. Look at that. Ronnie Dodge, haunt people. Oh, right. Ronnie Dodge, haunt people who don't. Ronnie Dodge, haunt people who don't me wrong. I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Bobcat, that's what makes her fun. She's awesome with action and heart. She is awesome, and I don't deny that. But she's also a killer, a psychopath. So she is rotten, right? She is rotten. But I love her, but she's still rotten. Not totally. The fun side you talk about is there, but she is rotten. Right. This yesterday, James Gunn posted this. Where are we? So James Gunn posted Bloodsport standing over Superman's kryptonite injured body after he's been shot, and it is Henry Cavill. So I told you that James Gunn was bullshitting about not knowing which Superman is, and this is a great picture, and I don't know who to credit for this. It's awesome. Right, where are we? Harley is a crazy bitch, period. Exactly, but we love her for it. I would love to marry someone like Harley, a psychotic bitch. I love women like that. Ronnie Dodge, where are we? Ronnie Dodge, I saw the fan art. It's great. I mean, people who've done me wrong. I could haunt you, Mick, if you want me to. No thanks. And when I go to the toilet at night, I think my mum's going to haunt me. So never mind you, mate. And not that I wouldn't love to see my mum again because I miss her dearly, but that would just scare me. Especially if she said, you weren't a good son or something like that, right? So anyway, right, I've just screenshotted what Barbara put up. So let's have a look at it. Oh, my God. Right, I know this is fan art, right? But look at this. This is fucking awesome. This is awesome. Hang on. Bobcat, yes, she's rotten, but Margot addresses the tattoo in 2016. It was removed partially is of feminism, but she didn't like people getting rotten tattooed on them either. Why? What's it fucking got to do with her? That's pathetic. The character is rotten. It's again, it is feminism. And I don't like it. I don't like it. It triggers me and it winds me up. Abraham Herrera, people are free to get a tattoo of whatever they want. Exactly, Abraham. Who do these fucking Hollywood people think they are, right? Anyway, right, can I talk about this picture, please? You don't mind, right? Right, listen. Right, so we're going to talk about this picture. This has got the Flash and Superman and Batman fighting on the same screen. Why did Barbara put this piece of fan art up? Probably because Batman and Superman and the Flash are going to be fighting together in this movie. This could be at the beginning of the film. Wow, this is awesome artwork. Whoever this was, she's put this up for a reason. Wow, Superman and Batman and the Flash fighting together in the Flash movie. Wow. Or is that Supergirl? Oh yeah, it's Supergirl, sorry. But that's still awesome, right? I mean, I got a bit excited because I'm a Superman fan, but still, it's awesome if we get this in the film, right? Wow, a great piece of fan art, brilliant. I think I'll put it up on my Instagram tomorrow. I always like to have a good morning kind of fan art or a picture of something because I don't take a picture of myself in the morning on this Instagram anymore. Whoops. Bob, I get that, but I'm saying Margot didn't really like the tattoo. I didn't think the one tattoo changes anything. Plus, less makeup to apply. Like you said, you didn't notice. I didn't notice, but they've made a point about it, and I don't like it. It annoys me. But anyway, she can have it or not. The character is rotten. She is a psychopath. She is a killer. And there's nothing to be done to delete that. And if people want to have a rotten tattoo because they look up to her, because Hollywood want to paint a picture of nice people and compassionate people when they're not fucking compassionate themselves. Hypocrites. Abraham Herrera, world's worst tattoo, a series on YouTube. If anything, we need more people getting a shit tattoos. The only tattoo I'm going to get. Right, what do you think about this, everyone? A Superman emblem tattoo, a big one covering my chest. What do you think about that? Ronnie Dodge, if EE get a slow motion shot of that fan art, I will lose it. Very similar to Zack Snyder's Justice League shot of the League. That's a good point. Bobcat, I like the heart better personally. So yes, I'm going to get a Superman tattoo all over my chest, right? And it's going to stay there forever, which means I'd have to shave my chest forever. I'm going to get it. I'm just wondering if I could still shave my chest without killing myself. Well, everyone, it's been a fantastic edition of the Movies TV Mad Daily Live. We've had some heated discussions. Doesn't mean I don't love you. Doesn't mean you don't love me. I hope you love me. I will be back later on with my review of Smallville Season 1, Episode 2, I think it's Metamorphosis. It's a great episode, so I'll be reviewing every single episode of Smallville. Look out for that later. I will be back by 6:30 p.m. UK time. Check your local times for Movies TV Mad Live. Check me out for some updates on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. Instagram and TikTok, Movies TV Mad 555. Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Abraham Herrera, go for it, mate. Just make sure you go to an artist instead of a regular tattooer, if that's even a word. Yeah, definitely, I agree. Thank you for the support there. Bobcat, I think Suicide Squad is going to be great. Oh, yeah. It's not me saying the Suicide Squad is going to be great, right? What I'm saying is it winds me up. These SJWs and these feminists are just, they would step over a hungry child just to make their alt-left points, and they just annoy me. That's all. Doesn't mean I hate Margot, that I don't like Harley. It just means it winds me up, Bobcat. That's it. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, the Suicide Squad will be great. It's James Gunn. I love James Gunn. I love James Gunn. I love everyone. You know that. But I'm just having an opinion, right? That's why I set up the channel. Ronnie Dodge, if we get a shot like that, I will cry. It's a great piece of fucking fan art. I was a little bit more excited when I thought it was Superman, but still, you know, Supergirl's cool, right? And I love my mate Sasha. Ronnie Dodge, that fan art, I mean, yeah, it's amazing. Right, thank you, everyone. I will see you later on. Don't forget, my Smallville Episode 2 review is coming later, and I'll be back tonight with Movies TV Mad Live. Until then, thanks for the support, everyone. Leave a like before you leave. I will be back later on. And if you haven't subscribed, why not? Why would you want to miss this? Tap the little bell, the notification bell as well. And spread the word. Spread the word about me. It doesn't matter that I'm using a built-in mic and a built-in camera, and it's all very amateur. It doesn't matter. Can you hear me? Can you see me most of the time? Yes, you can. So it doesn't fucking matter. Get me over 1,000 subscribers, and we will get more professional. And then we can go places, and you can say You were here before this channel was elite. So I will see you later. Ronnie George, see you later. I will get you if I passed. Yeah, let me know if you passed. Can't wait to see you tonight, Ronnie, and everyone else. Don't forget, I'll be back later. Until then, goodbye. Wow, this was an amazing show. See you later.